Most people think muscle loss is something you notice when you look in the mirror, but that's not how it really starts. It shows up quietly. When climbing stairs feels harder than it used to, when balance feels slightly off, or when everyday tasks take more effort than you remember. And the surprising part is, this kind of strength loss often begins long before people realize it has anything to do with aging. Around the world, doctors and researchers are talking more about this hidden change, not to scare anyone, but because muscle health plays a huge role in independence, confidence, and quality of life as we get older. Yet many people still believe it's all about eating more protein or relying on one healthy food, when the reality is a bit more nuanced. If you've ever wondered why staying strong feels different than it used to, or why common advice doesn't always seem to work, you're definitely not alone. Have you noticed small changes like these in your own routine? Feel free to share your experience in the comments, because what we're about to explore next might completely change how you think about supporting your body as it ages. And there's one overlooked detail most people never hear about. Most people don't wake up one day and suddenly feel weak. It usually starts much quieter than that. A moment on the stairs where your legs feel heavier than expected. A grocery bag that seems just a bit harder to carry. Or a sense that balance isn't quite as automatic as it used to be. These aren't dramatic changes, and that's exactly why so many people brush them off. Life is busy, bodies change, and it's easy to assume this is just how aging works. But for many adults, especially as the years pass, these subtle shifts are the earliest signs of something deeper happening beneath the surface. Muscle strength plays a role in far more than appearance. It affects how steady we feel on our feet, how confident we are moving through our day, and how independent we can remain as we age. When muscle support quietly declines, everyday activities can slowly begin to feel like challenges. What makes this especially tricky is that muscle loss doesn't announce itself loudly. It blends into routine fatigue, into normal aging, into habits we don't think twice about until something feels noticeably different. Across the world, this slow loss of muscle has become an increasingly important topic in public health conversations. As populations age, researchers and health organizations are paying closer attention to how muscle health influences quality of life, mobility, and long-term independence. You may have heard the term sarcopenia mentioned in articles or news reports. In simple terms, it describes the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength that can occur with aging. It's not a diagnosis being handed out casually, and it's not meant to alarm anyone. Instead, it's a way for researchers to name a pattern they see appearing across many countries and age groups. What's important to understand is that this conversation isn't happening because people are failing at health. It's happening because modern lifestyles, longer life expectancy, and changing dietary habits have created new challenges that previous generations didn't face in the same way. Muscle health is no longer just a topic for athletes or fitness enthusiasts. It's becoming part of a broader discussion about aging well, staying active longer, and maintaining daily confidence as the years go by. When people first start thinking about muscle health, nutrition usually comes up very quickly. Protein in particular has become a buzzword. Many people believe that as long as they're eating enough protein, especially from familiar sources, they're covering all their bases. Eggs, for example, are often seen as a complete solution. Easy, affordable, and widely recommended. And while eggs and other protein-rich foods absolutely have a place in balanced eating patterns, focusing on just one source can sometimes oversimplify a much more complex picture. In recent years, researchers and nutrition experts have been talking more about protein quality, variety, and how well the body can actually use what it consumes. As we age, digestion, absorption, and metabolism can change. That means it's not always just about how much protein is on the plate, but how it's paired with other nutrients that support muscle function overall. Vitamins, Minerals, healthy fats, and fiber all play roles in how nutrients work together inside the body. This is where the idea of variety becomes so important. No single food is designed to do everything on its own. Relying too heavily on one hero food can sometimes leave quiet gaps elsewhere in the diet. That doesn't mean cutting anything out or labeling foods as good or bad. It simply means zooming out and looking at the bigger picture. How different foods can complement each other over time. One group of foods that has gained more attention in these conversations is seeds. Not because they're miracle cures or magic fixes, but because they're small, versatile, and naturally packed with a mix of nutrients that support overall wellness. Seeds have been part of traditional diets across many cultures for centuries, often used in small amounts but consistently. Today they're being rediscovered as practical additions rather than trendy superfoods. Seeds offer a combination of plant-based protein, healthy fats, fiber, and minerals. Together, these nutrients support processes related to energy balance, inflammation regulation, and digestive health, all of which are connected, indirectly, to how muscles function and recover over time. It's important to be clear here. Seeds aren't treatments, and they don't prevent aging. They're simply foods that can help support the body's normal processes when included as part of a balanced lifestyle. Among commonly used seeds, sunflower seeds are often the most familiar. They're easy to find, easy to add to meals, and generally well accepted in taste. Nutritionally, they provide protein along with vitamin E, magnesium, and selenium. These nutrients are often discussed in relation to antioxidant support and muscle function, especially as part of a varied diet. For many people, sunflower seeds feel like a comfortable starting point. Nothing exotic, nothing complicated, just a simple food with practical benefits. Flax seeds tend to enter the conversation next, often because of their omega-3 fatty acid content and naturally occurring plant compounds called lignans. These components have been widely studied in relation to inflammation markers and overall metabolic health. While the science can sound complex, the basic idea is that flax seeds offer nutrients that work behind the scenes, supporting systems that muscles rely on indirectly. They're a step deeper into the world of functional nutrition without being overwhelming. Chia seeds bring another layer to the discussion. They're known for their fiber content and their ability to absorb liquid, forming a gel-like texture. This characteristic has drawn attention to the connection between digestion and muscle health. A healthy digestive system helps the body make better use of nutrients overall. When digestion is supported, nutrients from food are more likely to be absorbed efficiently, which matters as the body changes with age. Chia seeds also contain omega-3s and antioxidants, contributing to their reputation as a well-rounded addition rather than a single-purpose food. Pumpkin seeds are often highlighted for their mineral content, especially magnesium and zinc. These minerals are commonly discussed in public health conversations because many adults don't consistently get enough of them through diet alone. Magnesium plays a role in muscle relaxation and energy processes, while zinc is involved in many cellular functions. Pumpkin seeds also provide plant-based protein and healthy fats, making them appealing for people thinking about muscle support from a broader nutritional angle. Hemp seeds often come up last in discussions like this, not because they're dramatically better, but because they offer a unique balance of protein and fats. They contain all essential amino acids in a form that many people find easy to digest. This has made them popular in conversations about protein quality rather than sheer quantity. Again, this doesn't make them a solution or a replacement for other foods. It simply makes them another option in a diverse nutritional toolkit. What matters most across all these examples isn't ranking foods as winners or losers, but understanding how variety works over time. Different seeds bring different strengths, and when they're used in small, consistent ways, they can quietly support overall nutrition without adding stress or complexity to daily life. Practicality is where many health conversations fall apart. People hear about nutritious foods, feel motivated for a moment, and then get overwhelmed by portion questions, storage concerns, or fear of doing something wrong. The reality is much simpler than it often sounds. Seeds are typically used in small amounts. They can be sprinkled over meals, mixed into familiar foods, or added to recipes people already enjoy. There's no need for perfection, and there's certainly no need to overhaul everything at once. Consistency matters far more than intensity. A small habit practiced regularly tends to have a greater impact than dramatic changes that don't last. This applies not only to nutrition, but to movement, sleep, stress management, and daily routines. Muscle health is influenced by all of these factors together, not in isolation. It's also important to talk about mindset when it comes to aging. There's a lot of pressure to fight aging or reverse it entirely, and that kind of framing can create unnecessary anxiety. A more helpful approach is support rather than perfection. Bodies change, but they also adapt. Many people maintain strength, mobility, and confidence well into later decades when they focus on sustainable habits instead of quick fixes. If you're noticing changes in your own energy or strength, it doesn't mean you've done something wrong. It means your body is communicating, and paying attention early can make everyday life feel more manageable and more confident over time. These conversations aren't about fear. They're about awareness, choice, and giving yourself tools that fit into real life. Before we wrap up, take a moment to think about your own routines. Are there small habits you've noticed changing as the years go by? Have certain foods or daily patterns started to feel more important than they once did? If any part of this conversation resonates with you, feel free to share your thoughts or experiences in the comments. Your perspective might help someone else feel less alone in what they're noticing. If you found this discussion helpful, consider liking or sharing it with someone who might appreciate a calm, realistic take on aging and wellness. And as we continue exploring these topics, we'll keep looking at simple, evidence-aware ways to support long-term health. Because the next piece of the puzzle is often something people overlook until it quietly makes a difference.